An unassuming appraiser holds the power to reshape destiny while ancient legends finally awaken. If you are ready for a deep dive into the latest thrills, keep listening. But consider this your official spoiler warning for the currently airing season. We are tracking a mix of epic cultivation tales and fantasy journeys where the stakes are constantly shifting. From a high school student finding his footing in a world of monsters to reincarnated kings facing new perils, the narrative pressure is reaching a boiling point. We are breaking down the biggest turning points from this week, looking at how hidden roles become game changers and how ancient secrets finally surface. Whether it is a forgotten youth from a village of masters or the return of a ghost king, every beat counts. Let us step into these worlds and see what the latest arrivals have brought to the table in this ongoing journey. The strongest job is apparently not a hero or a sage, but an appraiser, provisional. Keeps the pressure on the main character as every choice reshapes what comes next. Okay, so our journey begins with a student named Hibiki, who finds himself dumped into a vast, unforgiving grassland in another world. He is essentially alone, forced to survive against roaming monsters with what seems like the most useless job imaginable to appraiser. But here is the thing. Hibiki starts to realize that being an appraiser is not just about reading tooltips. It is about understanding the very fabric of the world. He begins to see patterns in enemy weaknesses and item rarity that nobody else notices, effectively turning a support role into a tactical advantage. He moves through the grass, avoiding lethal confrontations by reading the environment better than any fighter could. It is a slow burn, but you can feel the shift as he stops being a victim and starts being the most informed person on the battlefield. Watch how he turns his provisional status into an absolute nightmare for the monsters surrounding him, realizing that his specific skill set is actually the ultimate survival cheat code. This is where the anime earns its pacing, tension, payoff, and reveals built on what already happened. Next, we move to the high-stakes world where Arthur faces the consequences of his choices. He is taking on one final mission alongside Jasmine, and the energy in their partnership is palpable. They are professional, calculated, and ready for anything, or so they think. But the quest they stumble into uncovers something that was meant to stay buried in the dirt. It hits hard because Arthur realizes that his past life experience is barely enough to keep them alive against this new threat. They are forced to adapt on the fly, with every decision pushing them closer to an abyss of chaotic, unusual power. The pressure is suffocating, and Arthur has to dig deeper than he ever has before to protect his companion from a catastrophe that could wipe them out instantly. It is a classic move of recklessness meeting necessity, and you are not going to believe the shift in power once the trap finally snaps shut on them. Now we shift gears to the short films showcasing the legendary bond that defines a generation. We get a front-row seat to the first encounter between Ciel Yin and Hua Cheng, and the chemistry is instant. It is subtle, quiet, and meaningful. Then, we see them together at the Lantern Festival, enjoying the atmosphere among the ghosts. The beauty here is in the contrast the divine serenity of Ciel Yin against the dark, powerful charisma of Hua Cheng. It is a breath of fresh air that grounds these grand characters in something deeply human. It's not just about the fighting or the cultivation rankings. It is about the quiet moments that build an epic, century-spanning connection. Every frame feels like a painting, and the catch is that these small stories carry just as much weight as the grandest confrontation, reminding you exactly why their legend is so enduring in this world of gods and mortals. Finally, we visit the disabled elderly village, where 9 mysterious elders have been raising a young man named Qin Mu. These are not your typical villagers. Their origins are unpredictable and clearly linked to something much older and more terrifying than anyone suspects. Everything changes when the cows that Qin Mu was tending suddenly act up, triggering a series of events that peel back the layers of his quiet life. Qin Mu starts to realize that the skills he learned from these odd mentors are far beyond what a normal village boy should know. He is being groomed for something monumental, and as the reality of his village sets in, the pressure begins to mount. You can see him grappling with the fact that his protectors might be the most dangerous people on the planet. It's a classic coming-of-age twist that turns into a fight for survival before he even understands the rules of the world. This week really highlights how the genre is moving toward more nuanced protagonists. Whether it is Hibiki using logic to overcome brute force, or Qin Mu learning from a village of secret legends, the theme is consistent. Raw power is useless without the knowledge to back it up. We are seeing a shift away from the typical hero enters the fray arc and toward these strategic, slower-paced stories where preparation and context are the real weapons. It is the kind of transformation that keeps the industry feeling fresh, and it forces you to pay attention to every detail, because a single piece of information can mean the difference between life and death. The connections between Arthur's struggle and the subtle Ghost King stories suggest that we are in for a long, rewarding season where character depth is just as important as the spectacle of the battles themselves, making every single choice carry a massive weight. There is so much more coming down the pipeline, so subscribe now to stay updated on all these ongoing sagas. See you in the next recap.